It's over. The saga is done. Andre Onana is leaving Manchester United, but just on loan. He is only going to be on a simple loan, no option to buy, no obligation to buy for Trabzonspor, but he will be going over to Turkey for the season. And it seemed that way coming into this season. Ruben Amorim had made it almost clear that, I know he was coming off an injury at the end of preseason, that's why he didn't play those preseason games, but it seemed as though Amorim was favouring Altay Bayındır, which is like picking between a rock and a hard place. It's genuinely, it's dumb and dumber at times. But Onana is leaving. He's going to Trabzonspor on loan for this season that we're in now. And Manchester United have addressed the goalkeeping position by signing San Lemens from Belgium. So we obviously Lemens, it's a bit of a interesting, but we'll get on to Lemens. We're going to be talking about Lemens, Onana, Bayındır, and the goalkeeping issues, maybe David De Gea as well. But before we get into all that good stuff, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff to see more content. Make sure the notification bell's on so we know when the content is dropping on the channel. Without further ado, Onana's gone for the season, not permanently, only on loan. And I was reading with Fabrizio's tweet just over an hour ago when he was mentioning that he actually will earn more money in Turkey, I think due to tax coverage, but the wages will be covered. So United don't have to worry about that. And Onana, his last game in a Manchester United shirt potentially could be the Grimsby game, which would be the perfect indication of his Manchester United career. Allowing a shot easily for that first goal at the near post, going for a horrible claim of a corner for the second goal, and then there's that penalty shootout, which is just disgraceful. The amount of times he got his hands onto something and his weak wrists allowed goals to go into the back of the net from that penalty shootout is pathetic, genuinely pathetic. And we have to make sure that at the same time, when we're honest about how poorly he's been, we can't revise history as a Manchester United fan base. As a whole, in the majority, when we all watched that Champions League final between Inter Milan and Manchester City in 2021, it was the narrative was clear. Bring me Andre Onana. That's what Manchester United fans were saying as in the whole. Bring me Andre Onana. That was the vibe. And you know, it's clear. It's clear that as time went on, as his time at Manchester United continued to progress, it showed that he was clearly not going to be the right man for the job. And the reason why we brought him in is due to the fact that there was another issue with the previous goalkeeper. David De Gea, who was brilliant for Manchester United for so many years, almost post-2018, post-Ronaldo hat-trick, Portugal versus Spain, after that World Cup hat-trick, it felt as though David De Gea had just started to go on some sort of decline. His shot-stopping ability would still rear its head from time to time, but he overall became a net negative at Manchester United, and the option by the club at the time was to address that by signing Andre Onana, which as a fan base in the whole we weren't against. And then we saw him playing for Manchester United, and early on, it's interesting that we saw that one of the foreboding signs of Onana was one of his first ever games at Old Trafford against Lens in a pre-season game. I think it was Lens, and he got lobbed from halfway. In one of his first Manchester United games, first time wearing the shirt at Old Trafford, he was lobbed from halfway line. We should have seen the signs from then. But alas, his time continued at Manchester United, and he did have some highlights, he did have some decent games, he did have decent periods of seasons as well, but it was mainly littered and highlighted by howlers. And the one thing you have to feel about a goalkeeper is assurance to your backline. Your backline has to be feeling safe with you playing in front of them. And that is something he didn't provide, something David De Gea didn't provide towards the end of his tenure. And most certainly Altay Bayındır will not be providing that in the future as well. So the goalkeeping situation at Man United has been an issue for a while. It has now seemed that Onana has been the one that has been addressed as the first that has to go out of the door. And Amorim, apparently, if we believe reports, had made that clear to Onana that 100% he will not be the guy for him in goal going into this season. What do I think about that? Me personally, I think it's the right decision. I don't know about Lemens. I don't know whether he's the solution. But all I know for sure is that United have had to address this goalkeeping issue Goalkeeper and 9 for Manchester United has been somewhere that we have had to address for a long time now. And it feels as though with obviously the signing of Sesko and Lemens, we are going for people who are projects, both of them being projects with potential for them to do well, but they aren't confirmed. They aren't someone that's going to come in and straight away hit the ground running because they're not experienced at that top level of football. But Ineos have gone with this profile of goalkeeper, backed by the data. We know that Lemens has been one of the best in terms of the goalkeepers data-wise, in terms of goal prevention, cross-claiming, all this kind of stuff. But with the current era of football in which we are, you could watch a comp of Lemens looking like prime Buffon, and then you can watch a comp where he looks very similar to Onana and Bayinde. So the truth of the matter is, you have to wait to see how he performs post-international break and see how that actually affects Manchester United on the football pitch. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments down below. What do you think about this goalkeeper situation? How do you feel about Onana leaving? How do you feel that it's not an obligation? It's not him being sold to Trabzonspor. It is just a simple loan for the upcoming season. Would you have made that decision? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments down below, and I'll catch you guys next time on the Asbos Get channel. Peace.